It's a lovely morning and welcome to the program Today's Business. Kunle Ariyo is my name. The goal of every investment is to make profit, and most times the best way to do this is by buying low and selling high, just like the stock market. In real estate investment, one of the basic skills you need to know to be a successful investor is to know how to evaluate properties. If you cannot quickly evaluate a property for sale and determine if it is a good income property, you can't be assured of success in the business. This is the area investors find very challenging and often end up buying properties way above market value. The Nigerian real estate market is dynamic, and this is a good thing, but keeping up with the change can be real work, especially when you want to buy or sell a property. So this morning we're taking a look at valuation as a key to decision making for asset and resource optimization. My guests are here. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll hit the ground running. Please stay with us. Welcome back. The program is Today's Business, and this we're taking a look at evaluation and how you can actually make it and also ensure that you have a good living. And I have with me in the studio to do justice to it, I have Mr. Oloruntoba Idris, Chairman, Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers here in Ondo State. It's my pleasure to welcome you on the show today.
Good morning.
I also have with me in the studio, I have Mr. Michael Omoyemi Adeyemi, the former chairman of Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, also in Ondo State. It's a pleasure to have you too.
Good morning. Welcome. I welcome everybody.
Let's take a look at the issue of valuation. I start with you, Mr. Idris. How would you define valuation?
Valuation is the economic worth of any property or assets. It need not to be a house. It could be machinery. It could be investment. It could even be an asset. And we, estate surveyors and valuers, are the only one back with law to actually carry out this valuation.
I would say to you, Mr. Ariel, would you say people are actually taking a key into this? Would you say that they are also coming up to do evaluation?
Yes, valuation is very important, even on any property, either tangible or intangible, either fixed or mobile property. So that needs to value. For you to be able to carry out any particular investment in property, you need to know the worth of such a thing. So the worth of such a thing will, ginger you to know how you are going to, the level of the kind of investment you have on that property. So valuation is key and is very important.
Is it only when one wants to sell a property that person needs to have the value of that property?
No, not necessarily. There are so many reasons why we carry out valuation. You can carry out valuation to determine your asset worth. Like Ondo State government now, if they want to know the worth of the property they have in the whole state, that's need for them to use the estate surveyors and valuers to determine all those values, so that you know what you have, you know what you want to acquire in addition to what you have. So because of that, it doesn't matter that you want to sell. You are not selling. You are not just
to know the worth.
You know the worth of it.
I would not say that, Mr. Chairman. I would not say that individual private persons are also coming up to know exactly the worth of their property.
I will say yes. Most of the time, when people really want to know how to actually distribute their property among the children, he won't like to cheat any of these children. So he would like to carry out the valuation, so that he will know how to actually share it among them. Another thing is, some individuals, even if they are going overseas, the embassy of where they're going might ask them, we want to know your worth. Oh, this guy is worth so much. Oh, certainly, this guy cannot just go without coming because of what he has at home.
So you also give a certificate for that evaluation?
Yes, we do.
If anybody wants to do anything now, how will that person go about it?
It depends on what he wants to do.
Okay.
If he wants to get loan, of course, no bank will advance loan to any individual without carrying out the works, because they want to get what is going to be the collateral in case this person failed to pay back. What can we fall back on? Okay, if he says that he has a property, okay, this property, how much does it worth? Can it actually stand for the loan we want to advance for this individual? Say for instance, you want to get, say, 4 million naira, and he has a property that does not worth more than 3.5. Certainly he cannot get that 4 million naira, because in case of defaults, that property cannot actually pay for the loan. By that time interest will have arisen, and with that we'll be talking of principal plus interest about 5 million naira, and we're talking of 3.5. But if he wants to get loan worth 4 million, then the bank will want the property to worth at least 6.5 or 7. So in case of any default, easily they can just sell off the property, give him his change, and get their own money with interest.
So that means if we also get these fast valuers, it can also jack up the value of that property.
No, that one is not possible. Though, human, they will want to bribe you, so to speak, so that you can jack up the property. But we have seen cases whereby when the individual defaults and they now ask you, the valuer that actually did it, come and sell this property you said worth so amount.
I asked that because I also know that we have also quacks, and that's,
we do.
We'll get to that. Mr. Harry, let's take a look at other benefits of also investing in various assets. I also know that location is also important when it comes to valuation. So what other things would you say is also important in terms of knowing the worth of one's assets?
Location is key. That's number one. The property itself, you need to describe the property, how it looks like. You need to describe the niche. You need to do some, measurement of the property. Then while doing that, of course, you carry out the market survey. Carry out so that you will know, because those are the things that will form the basis of your valuation. You don't just take valuation, from the sky. That's method. That's other way. So, and you have to do it according to the the ethics of the proportion. It is very important. So that's why it's not like the question like my brother answered. You can't just jack up any valuation anyhow. Because if you contravene the law or to do this, valuation, you undervalue or overvalue. It's at your own risk. Because
does it mean that that exercise can also be subjected to review? Can it be subjected to review? Just like if you value a property,
yes,
can another valuer come to also value it?
Of course, other valuer can value. For example, you have a property. I want to buy the property, but you want to sell the property. You have a valuer that will value the property for you. Me that want to buy it, I'll have another valuer, so that when you have two values together, when you have your own value, maybe let's say your valuer say 10 million is the property, and mine says 9.5 million is the property. Then you need to strike a balance, so that either of you will not lose. That's it. So that is why I said it is necessary when you are valuing, you value according to the ethics of the profession.
It also means that, Mr. Idris, it also means that if you have a particular property at Alagbaka here in Akure, and the same structure, the same quality of a property is also located somewhere at Ekwisha, would you go for the same money?
Certainly not. When we're talking in terms of location, let the same quality material that they use in Alagbaka property, same is used in Ekwisha. What are the kind of people that will like to buy property in Alagbaka are not the people that will like to buy property in Ekwisha.
Okay.
If you tell an individual that this property worth 75 million naira in Alagbaka, and the road is tight, some individual, I met a friend, I don't want to mention his name because he's a well-known person in the society. When we were serving, he said he will prefer to live in a Japo, even if he's living in a bus quarter. He will know that he's living among the rich than for him to be the local champion in the area like Ekwisha. Why? Because in Ekwisha, whenever you are coming out, once you are getting some little change, people around you will say, Esa, give me money. They will continue to come and beg for money. But in Ijapo or Alagbaka, in fact, you are not up to them. For them to come and start begging for money. So the location and the kind of people around you, the neighborhood actually matters. And there is no way it could actually serve or have the same value.
Okay.
Another reason why some individual has property is not for them to actually have such value, but because of political reason. Probably one day I might go for chairman in my local government, governor in my state, so let me go and build in my hometown. Building in your hometown will not actually ascribe the same value. It's just for people to know that, this individual person has his house in his hometown, and he cannot be expecting the same value for such.
Let's quickly talk about quacks, because I know as the former chairman of this institution, but I've also dealt with so many issues about quacks. So what exactly do you think the institution can do to checkmate the quacks?
Well, I can say practically, there's no profession that doesn't have intrusion of quacks. They are there. Same thing here. But you see, this kind of training that we undertook is very vital. Those quacks, what we normally do is institution, because the Lord has set up essay surveyors and value registration board, give the profession absolute power to manage property, to value property, to do anything that relates to property. But where the quacks are available, well, they are acting ultra-vires, they are acting illegally. You understand? They are acting illegally. So once you see them, of course, you initially we like all our most senior colleagues in the profession, they will call them, look, this work you are doing is not your own work. If you want to go, if you want to get a training there, we can assist you. Of course, we did it. Some of the quacks, we have to force them to go on training. But there are others that doesn't matter. They just believe that, I have a land I want to sell. I'll call Mr. Alagbaka, do you want to buy land? Okay, I'll give you. It entails more than that. There are other things. That is why some of them, I have somebody who involved himself in this kind of agency work. At the end of the day, he got the money initially, and then you know that after about 5 years, the matter came up. So the money he got, somebody who got about 200,000 naira started, so ended up in spending not than 1 million naira to defend themselves.
So it is more advisable for people who want to do anything with property to come to register the valuers.
It is very important. It's more advisable.
Okay, I know quite well that you're also having an event on Friday. Yeah. Is it also a part of it to ensure that these quacks are also there to be part of this valuation day?
Well, we are not asking for quacks to come, but we are just doing a kind of advocacy for the people of the public. Know the real estate surveyors and valuers. Come and patronize them, because quacks there cannot save and cannot protect you. Even some of us who are doing a kind of overvalue or undervalue, as the case may be, if the institution knows about it, of course such individual will be sanctioned. So we are doing advocacy for the people in the town. Know those people who are called estate surveyors. Know what they do, and come and patronize them, for you not to get to the wrong hands. Because the moment you get to the wrong hands, excuse is not anything in the law.
The evaluation day, what we have for this theme is valuation, key to decision making for asset and resource optimization. What's important about this?
Like the topic says, when we want to make any decision, if you don't know the worth of your assets, of course there's no way you can make the best decision. The team actually tells us how to get the best out of the decision you are making. If you don't know how much a property worth or how much this asset worth, you won't know how can I redistribute this asset to make more profits. If you know that this property, if I sell this, the property worth 240 million, sell this, reinvest this amount like 100 million to this, and this one will be going, more interest will be coming here, more profit will be. With that, if you marry the two profits, it's more than having this single investment. But if you don't know the words, you won't know how to share, sell off, and reinvest.
I know that the quacks are more feasible. They are everywhere. Does it mean that payment for your service is high? Maybe that's why people are not actually patronizing the registered ones.
No, it's not the payment is so high. It's so high. There is a standard that is being given to us even at the federal level. So we cannot go beyond the tariff. There is a tariff that, okay, this when you are doing this, when you are valuing this, this is the percentage you charge, this is what you have. In fact, the quack takes more. They take more because they are very.
And the clients are not aware.
The clients are not aware. They take more if they come to us. Let me give a very simple example. Those who want to, those who are looking for accommodation, want to rent a property and all these things. Before, if you go to a quack will ask you, you must drop 5,000 naira minimum before he can take you to anywhere.
Inspection fee.
Inspection fee. You understand? In fact, those people will gladly do. But if you come to me as an estate surveyor, or we are already even advertising what we have. So you only come to us with that, okay, this is the property you want to let out, come and take it. Taking it, after taking it, we have a tenancy, we prepare a tenancy agreement, of course to be done by the lawyer. Then thereafter we take the agency. That's it. But that's why it's costly for anybody going to quacks.
So Mr. Idris, what other things should we expect at this year of evaluation?
Evaluation day. Well, it's a national event. We are going to do, apart from going to media, we do. We go for rally on Friday.
Okay.
just to let people know us. And apart from that, we continue to have discussion with individuals, even on media houses. Those are things we actually have for the year.
Do you think it's also important, Mr. Yemi, that these quacks too, because invariably what they do affects the profession? Do you think it's also important for the institution to bring these people on board in terms of giving them training, in terms of letting them form an association for easy access to them?
If you can remember my first response before, I said the institution, instead of driving them away, we bring them along with us. We carry them, we tell them, look, this work you are doing is risky. You have to undergo, some training. So if you do it, it will even be better for you. And I told you the other time, I said it the other time that, look, the institution have trained so many people, so many quacks. For example, those I can tell you, some school start holders started, their pupillage, started training them gradually. Then they now went through, examination in the institution from the grassroots. People were trained. Students got being trained even from the grassroots, even to PhD level. That's how it is. So that is kind of a thing. We know that we know that all these qualities, there are very many in the society, and we need to take care. We need to make sure that we bring them to them so that they will not become
a problem, a challenge.
In the future. So we embrace them. So we do give them training.
So, Mr. Idris, so how do we identify, just like myself as a client coming to do business, so how do I identify a registered valuer?
Whenever you get to any office, you will see this logo. The logo I have on this quest, we put it in our, signpost.
Okay.
Moment you see it there, and the individual will write SS of yours and valuer. And if you get to his office, you can as well ask. It's not out of place for you to ask, Oga, what is your registration or membership number? With naive, you can go to our website, type the registration number against the name he claims. That registration number, mine is MO2234. Moment you type it in, the name that comes out is Olontoba Pipilari. No other name can come against that number.
But for the estate agents, we cannot get that.
Certainly not. And when it comes to registration board, that is the federal government board, SBERON, that regulate our practice. That one is even more simpler. Mine is 2064. The valuation I write, any valuation I prepare, my name and my serial number 2064 is attached to all. So easily, when the valuation report gets to wherever, moment the individual wants to know, is it actually prepared by a certified estate surveyor and valuer? They look at the number. They even want to know if I've actually paid for the year, the fee that shows that, I can practice in the year. It's a matter of putting the name in the system and say, okay, he has paid.
Because of our time, Mr. Adeyemi, when you go to the indigenous streets of Akure, yes, you discover that the old buildings are giving way. So what will now be advised to the owners of the property in terms of also approaching a genuine valuer?
The old buildings?
Yes.
Of course, the old buildings that are, when something is getting old, it's getting old. And even a human being, when they get old, they die. Old building, most of them are getting dilapidated.
The question is this: the owners of these old buildings, for them not to get into the wrong hands, how would we encourage them?
We just call them to encourage them. One, they can call on us, call on a surveyor to help them look at the property and give appropriate advice. If it is something, we tell them, look, this property does not worth it, or it is demolishable. Maybe the land there, they decide to sell. You understand? So if we can advise them, okay, this property is worthless. You can go ahead and demolish, or you can go ahead and sell. So that is one of the something we used to give to them.
Okay. And quickly on that, some of them will not want to sell. Okay. They still want to retain the property, but we can come into an agreement. Let us develop this property.
Okay, for developers.
Then after some years, the property goes back to you. But of course, I will let them know how much I spend and the interest that I can charge. After that, moment I make my money and the interest or the profit, the property goes back to them.
So that's what we call sale and leaseback.
Okay, that's also good, because we also have some families who will not want to sell their property.
Won't like.
In the last 25 minutes or thereabout, I've been speaking with Mr. Olorutoba Idris, the chairman, Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers here in Ondo State, and also Mr. Michael Omoyemi Adeyemi, the former chairman of that institution. I want to thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us on the show today. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much, sir.
As is going to be on the show today, join us on Friday for another one. Kunle Aria is my name. Good morning.